Hello everybody, I would like to make a video on talking a little bit about talking a little bit about ham radio and why I enjoy amateur radio, why it's been an amazing hobby. The benefit of being able to learn knowledge about different types of stuff. I like to learn about lots of different things about electronics and learning the electric principles instead of circuits. That's basically what I've been learning a little bit inside of studying the general studying for my general license. I'm going to be in the process of getting my general's license. I'm in the process of studying for it, but I just want to discuss that a little bit about why amateur radio. To me, the enjoyment of amateur radio for me, why I really enjoy it. I just like to learn. I like to learn. I like to learn new things. And the technology behind amateur radio involves in lots of different variety of different types of things, and I like amateur radio because I like to be able to be like a engineer, like a communication engineer, being an operator and being able to have the privilege with a license to be able to communicate with people over the air, over the radio. Think of amateur radio as a telephone that's using airwaves. That's what I think is a better way of saying, a better way of explaining what it is. I think of it as a communication platform for for people that are professional with electronic engineering, and understanding the ins and outs of how things work, and the benefit of having that privilege and being able to have a license to operate as an operator, to make calls and call out through the airwaves and looking for somebody to talk to about your interests, your hobbies, like different hobbies that you like to do, hobbies inside of amateur radio, what you like about amateur radio, talking about like your antennas and talking about your radio, what type of radios you have, and talking about the way the radios work and how they function, the features of the radio, your favorite features of the radio. A lot of amateur radio operators like to give signal reports so we can be able to work with propagation, and why we ask for a report of our signals, so we can get a better understanding of how well the propagation that we're working with to provide the communication to go over the airwaves out through, you know, the atmosphere. Our signals bounce off the atmosphere. It works with HF for general. You know, if you have a general's license or an extra's license, you can get access to HF frequencies that will allow you to talk worldwide, you know, simplex, meaning radio to radio. But basically, what's really great about it is you do not need an internet. You do not need any special type of stuff. All you need is a radio, a coax cable that goes to your antenna, and that's it. And you can be able to talk to people thousands of miles away. And how it works is your signal goes up F2 region, which is the highest region in the atmosphere. And basically what it does is that we're bouncing our signals off the atmosphere, and it goes like this. Our signals skip like multi-scatter, where it goes like this. That's what a multi-scatter is. It's just your signal, it goes up, then it comes down, it bounces off the surface of it bounces off like the ground, and then the signal goes up. It's kind of like how your signal will go up. It will bounce off the atmosphere. Your signal will go up, and it'll bounce off, and it'll come back down, and then will keep repeating that. It'll keep going, and it'll just keep going like this. It'll keep going like up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And what it's doing is it's causing like a reduction. It's like it's like a reductance where it just shoots up and it bounces off. It's kind of, you know, the atmosphere kind of is almost like a what do they call it? It's almost like a reflector, because what it's doing is it's going up, it hits the atmosphere, then the signal goes down, then it goes right back up again, and it just keeps going like that, and that's how your signal is going. It goes long distance. You can talk. One hop is like 1,200 miles, and the highest one, which is in the F2 region, the highest goes the longest, and that one goes up to that one can go up to 1,500 miles. And it just depends on the atmosphere. It just depends on the conditions, how the conditions are it depends on the conditions, basically, that carries your signal through the airwaves. And but we use the atmosphere to bounce our signals off the atmosphere, and that gets our signals way far away. That makes our signals go way far away. This is the benefit of having a general class license, to give you that privilege to be able to talk further. And what's really nice about it is, like I said, you do not need an internet, and you do not need to worry about you do not need to worry about going through a repeater or anything like that, because you're using the atmosphere to make your signals go further. And this is why it's a lot of fun when you get into HF, because you just never know where your signals are going to go. You never know who you're going to talk to. You never know how far your signal is going to go. You could be talking to somebody all the way on the other side of the world, way out in, usually like it will go way out into it just depends on which way, your antenna is. And sometimes you want to rotate your antenna to, you rotate your antenna. If you have like a beam antenna with a rotator on it, you could rotate your antenna to wherever direction you want. You could have it face north, south, east, or west. And whichever where you have it pointing, and if you're bouncing off the atmosphere and you're pointing it at a certain direction, you could be talking to anywhere. You could be talking to different places like Australia. You could be talking to South America. You could even talk to the UK, Germany, China, Japan, Russia, different places in the world. Or if you just want to talk locally, you can be able to talk to people in the United States, in your same country or your same state, locally, but you can be able to talk to them further away. Like during the day hours, usually 40 meters don't work so well with long distance, like worldwide communication. So if you talk on 40 meters during the day, there's chances you're going to talk to somebody in the United States, in your local country. And then 40 meters works best at night. 20 meters can work during the day and night, depending on how well the conditions are with your propagations. It just depends on how well the solar cycle is, or with the sun, and the way the way the solar weather works, of the way your solar your solar is like a magnetic field. So sometimes it can make your communications better, and sometimes it can make your communications worse. It just depends on the sun, or the sun cycles. Sometimes it depends on how much that's being radiated out to, like the solar flux, and how many solar storms are going on. And sometimes it can disrupt communication. Sometimes it can cause blackouts, where it can knock out all the amateur radio bands. That can kind of do a number on the amateur radio bands. But it just, like I said, it just depends on the way the way your signals work off the atmosphere, but it also depends on space weather, or things going on in space, with the sun and everything. It just depends on, like, if there's too much uh, magnetic fields, or too much if there's too much radiation, too much you know coming off the sun, it's going to cause a lot of problems with radio communications, especially satellites. And a lot of amateur radio operators use satellites to make contacts. They go through like a repeater on a satellite, and if there is interference with with anything with the sun, it can cause major problems with interruptions with the satellites. So it all just depends on propagation. It depends on it depends on how good the propagations are, depending on how far your signal can go up. It could go up into the atmosphere. There's different levels. There's different levels of the atmosphere. If you bounce off, if you bounce off like the very lower region, it's like that's what they call like a conductance, like where it just where it's just like this, boom. But that is only for that's mostly good for VHF, UHF, for like your local simplex, like 146.520. If you're wanting to sometimes you get just enough propagation to where your signal doesn't go completely up to the atmosphere and back down, like to the F2. Remember, F2 region is the highest in the atmosphere. It's way up here. But if your signal is not gonna go all the way up and bounce off the atmosphere, your signals can just go like this. I could just skim across. I could just do like a quick skim across and then back down. Most likely, when that happens, you're gonna get what is called a short path, where it's not gonna travel. Your signal's not gonna travel that far. It's gonna be reinfracted back to Earth very quickly, and most likely when that happens, you're only going to be able to talk. You're going to be able to use that propagation to talk further in your local area. If you have repeaters, or if you're talking simplex, you might have just enough propagation to talk, maybe 100 miles. Just depending on how strong that propagation is, and it can carry the signal. There's another thing called auras, and that usually happens during meteor showers. And basically, they are meteor showers, like they go like that in the atmosphere, or in the atmosphere, or in space. They look like flying stars, but they're just they're meteors. And sometimes for VHF, during a good propagation, sometimes when that's occurring, sometimes you can bounce your signal off of those meteorites, or those meteors flying. When they're going like that, and sometimes you can, when you hit one, sometimes it'll make your signal, it'll scatter your signal. It'll make your signal go, flutter and scatter through the space, through the atmosphere. And sometimes you can talk quite far, and usually you can do this on 6 meters, which is what they call a magic band. And sometimes when that is happening, 6 meters opens up, and sometimes you can get lucky, and you can be able to do it on VHF, on you like your 2 meters, your 2 meters, or maybe even 70 centimeters. But it just depends. It just depends on the propagation, and how it's working, and it just depends on where your signal is going to go, because you got to remember your signal is it's going to go once it leaves and goes. It's going to go wherever. It's going to go wherever. It's going to go where the signal is going to be carried wherever. It can be carried. It can either be. It can carry. Your signal can get carried way far out. You don't know where your signal is going to go. You don't know who you're going to talk to. And that's the most exciting part, is you just don't know who you're going to be able to talk to. And that's what makes it very exciting. That's what makes it a lot of fun. Because you just don't know who you're going to talk to, or who's going to come back to you, or who's going to be able to hear you on the other end. And HF is also very good for getting information if there's a like if there's a emergency, like a global emergency, like a disaster. They call it disaster relief, and in HF you're going to be able to talk to. It's going to help you during emergencies. It's going to help you be able to talk further. And you're going to be able to talk to people and get in contact with people and stuff. So, I wanted to get in touch with, getting back in touch with you guys and explain a little bit of the reasons why I wanted to get my general's license, is because I want to be able to have the opportunity to do these things. But I'm going to keep this video short. I'm going to cut the video off, but please like and please give me thumbs up, and please hit that subscribe button. Make sure you click the bell to get notifications to when my videos are being posted. And, hit the thumbs up. Give me a like, and feel free to comment. If you have questions about something, comment down below. Because I always read my comments, and you're more than welcome to comments. Leave comments down below. And we'll try to answer your questions at our best ability as we can. Alright, well, I want to say this is KE2BJW. My name is Jason. And 73s. Bye-bye.